All right, you're watching us live on Facebook and various other social media platforms. I'm Shweta Kothari. Starting today, we will bring to you stories of hope, empathy, achievement, and of a better future every Friday. Stories that moved us, put a smile on our face, and will probably put a smile on yours as well. To begin with, we have a story of a woman, a daughter of an auto rickshaw driver, who has now been crowned as a runner-up of 2020 Femina Miss India competition. Born in UP, Manya Singh was born in a household and her father was a driver, an auto rickshaw driver. She had to start working at a very young age to support her family's financial requirement. Manya opened about the hurdles that she faced growing up after being crowned as a runner-up. She talked about spending numerous nights without food, without sleep, and having to walk miles and miles in her life. She said in a post, and I quote, "My blood, sweat, tears have amalgamated into courage to pursue my dreams." Further, she wrote that being a rickshaw driver's daughter, she never had the opportunity to attend the school as she had to start working in her teens, and all her clothes were in fact hand-me-downs. She said she yearned for books. Her parents mortgaged whatever they had to ensure that her exam fee was paid. She wrote that my mother has suffered a lot to provide for me. Manya ran away from home when she was juggling at the age of 14, and she would later attend classes in the day, washed dishes during the afternoon, worked at a call center at night to support her dreams. And now she has become the runner-up in the 2020 Femina Miss India competition. We congratulate Manya, and I hope and we pray that she continues to inspire many women in this country. Moving on, and this is a story from UP where we bring to you an NGO by the name of Hope Welfare Trust that has decided that its duty and responsibility will be to ensure that young girls, adolescent girls, stay in school. Now, Hope Welfare Trust, as I said, is operating currently in UP, which is, remember, country's most populous state. There is a substantial dropout rate of young women. The state sees an annual dropout rate of approximately 8.5%, which is double of the national average of 4%. In this environment, Hope Welfare Trust, a non-profit organization, decided to distribute cycles to girls. The reason being that girls in many villages in UP had to walk at least 5 to 15 kilometers, especially in the villages that they distributed cycles. Girls had to walk 5 to 15 kilometers in dense terrain amid forest land in the absence of mode of transport, and this resulted in girls dropping out. In a survey, especially during pandemic, in a survey that was conducted, it said that nearly 54% of the girls were not sure, they were unsure of whether they will return back to schools and colleges. At this point, Hope Welfare Trust started distributing bicycles to a number of girls in different villages in UP, and this, they said, has helped many young girls to travel to school when they could not earlier. We spoke, the Logical Indian spoke to Devanshu Upadhyay, who's a social activist and who's also secretary of the Hope Welfare Trust, and he said that they have distributed nearly 50 cycles till now. They were, struggling in the absence of funding, but they did manage to receive some funding at the end of it and were able to raise money to buy additional 25 cycles with the help of Bollywood actor Sonu Sood. So their efforts, of course, we are appreciating and we are recognizing here at the Logical Indian. Moving on, and another story now coming in from down south. A woman in Kerala lost her everything in 2012, and all she had was 100 rupees. And with that 100 rupees, and that was the capital with which she's set up her business, and her business has now grown to a point that she earns approximately 500,000 rupees a month. We're talking about 40-year-old Ilavarasi Jayakant, who was hit hard, and apologies if I'm not pronouncing the name correct. Ilavarasi was hard hit by a robbery at a supermarket in the year of 2011. She had toiled for years. She always wanted to have her own business, and her family was in the business of making various eateries, and she decided that she will be pursuing the family business. She took a loan of 50 lakh rupees. She set up a mart and she was very successful until 2012, when her life took a turn. She was at a very wrong place in her life, and she spoke to media and said that after the robbery that happened at her mart, she lost almost everything and her hope. But the hope soon came back to her in 2012, and she started to pick herself up and dust herself down and started a hot chip stall called Avasthi Hot Chips near Thrissur railway station with less than 100 rupees. She is currently an example of a successful woman who's made it big, starting at literally a railway station. She started at Thrissur railway station with less than 100 rupees, as you can see on your screens now. She has a business. She operates more than 10 stores, and her current income is nearly 500,000 rupees a month, which is 5 lakh rupees per month. Elavarasi, of course, their 40-year-old, shining bright, and an example to many, many women in this country, an example of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, I must say. Moving on, and the next story is coming from Pune, where a 50-year-old man who's specially abled, he was being constantly harassed by a financial company from which he had taken money. He had lost his job amid pandemic, like many others in this country. He went to a railway station, Baramati railway station in Pune, but what happened next, perhaps even he could not anticipate. Seeing his condition, the superintendent of police, the senior police officer, Namdev Shinde, decided to help him. Madhu Vaikar, the name of the guy here, the specially abled man, who was being harassed, as I mentioned, by a financial company for a bike, a four-wheeler that he had taken, went to the police station to lodge a complaint. But when the police realized in fact his plight, and they realized that he does not have a job, they decided to help. They did not just negotiate with the financial company to cut down the amount of money he owed to them, so they bargained on his behalf, but they also raised money for him. Now let me quickly tell you that before pandemic, Madhu Vaikar used to earn his livings by driving a modified four-wheeler through Baramati streets, and he made announcements for public welfare. With no work left amid pandemic, he could not pay back the installment, and therefore he was being harassed. After he appealed to police for help, the senior police inspector came to Madhu's rescue. He mediated between Madhu and the financial company. After the intervention, the financial company waived off a part of the loan. They also contributed the remaining 25,000 to 27,000 rupees. And how did they do it? All staff of the police station raised that money. So the local police station, Baramati police station, raised the money to support this man, to support this specially abled man in Pune, and also set bars for many policemen in the country. And our final story for today, and this is the story of a 5-month-old Tira who suffers from spinal muscular atrophy type 1 disease. It's a rare genetic disorder that leads to complete, in fact, breakdown of nerve cells in brain and spinal cord. She needed urgent treatment. In January this year, her parents, Priyanka and Mihir, shared her medical condition on social media. They mentioned that Tira was critically ill and they needed money to get the medicines that they wanted, and those medicines were only available outside of India. But here's a problem. There is a GST that is levied on these medicines, and this GST, of course, adds to the value of the medicine. Now, they had raised nearly 12 crores. They needed at least 16 crores. They raised 12 crores, but they could not raise additional 6 crores that was needed for import duty, which is 23%, and GST, which is 12%. So they started appealing to the government. It was only after their appeal that former Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis wrote a letter to the Prime Minister appealing them, asking them to make an exemption on all applicable taxes on the import of the medicines, which was nearly 6 crore rupees. After the letter and after Tira's parents' appeal, Prime Minister Modi responded and said that the amount pertaining to the custom duty will be waived off. Tira will now be receiving the medicines that she needs, the treatment that she needs. The Modi government there, of course, helped the 5-month-old girl from Mumbai, waived off 6 crores of tax for importing these life-saving medicines from the US, and she is now currently looking perhaps at a better future thanks to the government. But that's all we have. That's all the stories we have for this week. These are stories, as I mentioned, stories of hope, resilience, and stories that bring a smile on our faces and give us hope of a better future. And we will continue to bring more such stories every week. Thank you very much for watching. For all the details that you can see on your screens, all the pictures and everything that we told you, my colleague Tamanna, of course, is getting all those details together for you, and you will be getting more every passing week. Thank you very much for watching.